Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top Chef Judges Roundtable, where we ask you to unpack your knives and stay. I'm Curt Clark. You might have noticed my lack of a Canadian accent, while our friend Haley is off gallivanting overseas and has promised to come back and tell us about great adventures in fooding that she's doing. But we still have a trio of hosts today. Let me toss this ball over to your friend and mine, Latonya.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to what is sure to be a rousing discussion of an episode of television that I enjoyed, even though I wasn't happy with the outcome. Apparently, my team is just going to be systematically eliminated on this show.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but we will definitely have to discuss that now.
Yeah.
And taking our third chair here, she has been here before. We always love to have her on. Gia Worthy. Gia, how's it going?
Hello. I'm always happy to be here. And as I said before we started recording, that I love Top Chef, but there are not enough people in my everyday face-to-face life that love Top Chef as much as I do. So I do feel like I am perfect as the Haley Strong substitute here, and that I love to talk Top Chef, and I love spending time with both of you.
Yay. Yeah, we just discovered G and I are both going to we're going to get a chance to meet up in Boston next week. So for any RHAP listeners, try to find us, say hello. I mean, we're not going to be hiding. This is not a
come and get us.
Yeah, come and get Daria.
Come and get us. Just like lightly tap me on the shoulder to say hi.
Yes, and then Gia can point across the room and say, "Oh yeah, that guy over there, that's Curt." Anyway, we've got episode 4 of Top Chef to discuss. We've got is this the Arrested Development episode? We've got some just kind of Top Chef fans as guests, so I think we're just going to be hitting the entire Canadian pantheon of people who have been on TV. For the Quickfire, just to jump right into it. We'll get to discussing the guest judges in a moment. But the group divided into 3 groups of 4, and we're going to be engaging in a trivia challenge. How many of the questions they got right, we learn up front, will determine their placement and subsequent the amount of time that they have to cook. But we had our first guest judge that was introduced was as a Top Chef super fan was Michael Cera.
See what you did there.
Yeah, and you know what? And now Haley cannot threaten to kick me out of the thing because I have my hand on the driver's steering thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it's called.
What it's called.
Have total faith in your driving.
Oh yes. Michael Cera fan, Gia? You know Mr. Cera?
I love Michael Cera. I mean, not to the point where I'm like, if he's in a movie, I must see it. But I've seen quite a few of his films. Seems like a nice guy. And I think this episode gave me a new level of respect for him because he is truly living my dream that his only qualification for being a guest judge here is that he is a Top Chef super fan. And same, Michael Cera, same. Excellent. And he's Canadian. That was also very important.
Yeah,
I should have also added that in.
Very
important. This made me I love when actors, celebrities, just people, I think it's safe to say Michael Cera is a very well-known actor. And just having somebody of
his
his notoriety, his name recognition, just be I want to guest judge on an episode of Top Chef. How can we make that happen? I just assume he called. I assume he has Tom Colicchio's number, maybe Gail Simmons, all the Canadian hotline of celebrities, and just saying, just tell me what episode I'm going to come on. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure how he was going to be, but he was very thoughtful. He thought before he spoke, which is something I should probably do more often. No. But it wasn't just him. We also, because this was going to be a trivia challenge, brought in Amy Schneider and Mateo Roach. Latonya, are you a Jeopardy fan?
I am a Jeopardy fan. I went through a period of time with friends where we would like gather and watch Jeopardy together, competitively though.
Oh yeah.
I completely identify with Corwin at the top of the episode, where he was like, I was raised by as an army brat and like raised by people in the army, and so I'm really competitive about everything. I am, we do this podcast in the middle of the national debate tournament.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just went the nerdy way about it.
Yeah.
Still super competitive. So yeah, love Jeopardy. Love to be right about Final Jeopardy. Like that makes my week.
When you watch in a group,
Mhm.
do you wait for the question to be fully spoken before?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's proper group Jeopardy etiquette.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do. And then we just kind of shout the answer.
Yeah.
And whoever shouted it first, as determined by someone who is currently shouting answers, is the one that gets the point. It's a very meticulously put together system that I don't know I could like fully explain here, but yeah.
Well, speaking of getting the point, what we weren't told at the beginning is that for each point they get, the answer that they got was also recorded, and that was going to impact the ingredients that they, the set of ingredients they had to choose from.
Yeah.
For the final part. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I don't look into, as we go, we can kind of talk through how we think we would have done, but we ended up having a green team of Shuai, Corwin, Cesar, and Vinny, also known as like the team that completely dominated.
Yeah, also known as the team of dudes, and I'm really glad that Kristen pointed that out because I cannot tell you how much time I've spent around that, like just like that feeling, group of dudes, competitive and ready to like, that sounds weird. It's not meant to sound like that. I just mean that you get what I'm saying, Gia.
Yeah, they were very, very high energy men that were very excited to get their answers in.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very that energy.
Yeah.
It was also the group that was left over, if I remember correctly. Like because this one they didn't have to draw knives. They had to
they did just form a team.
Yeah. They won the first 8 of 15 questions. And I was like wondering what they were going to do. Like, is there a tie? Well, there wasn't going to be a chance of getting a tie, but they, like, rightfully, after they hit 8 of 15, there was no mathematical way for the other teams to like, just stop answering, please.
Let the other two teams fight it out for second. So they would get 20 minutes to cook. Because I can't imagine only getting 15 minutes to cook. That sounds awful.
I was wondering, I was figuring it would have to be, like, for them to get 10, I was figuring it had to be 15. Like, 10 would have been completely,
Yeah.
What if
10, you're getting a PB&J.
Minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes, PB&J. or just the P.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it depends on the intensity of like the peanut butter that you are choosing, because like, some of them are going to be very difficult to spread on different types of bread.
That's true.
Is it on the shelf? Was it in the fridge? Is it going to kill the bread? Oh,
and forget if it's like wheat bread. That shit's going to fall apart.
It's going to fall
real
apart.
quick.
Why even go there?
Right?
Yes.
So true.
It's just going to crumble in your hand.
Yeah.
Truly, like, what system? Who built this Quickfire? It was great. I loved it.
The other two teams ended up. The purple team was Paula, Massimo, Zubair, and Lana, and then the yellow team was Kat, Henry, Katiana, and Tristan. Like, with the green team out of the way, they were pretty evenly matched to the point after 6 questions they were tied 3-3, and it came down to the final question, and the purple team ended up winning, and then obviously the yellow team came in third. But that's when they revealed the second part of the challenge, where not only did the green team have 30 minutes to cook, they had 8 answers, so 8 ingredients that were the answers to the questions that they just got correct. They had to choose 3 of the ingredients from their trivia answers to make a dish, and it was 4 separate dishes. It wasn't a team challenge. So their ingredients were shiso, ginger, eggplant, lamb, scallops, chili crisp, nectarines, and panko breadcrumbs. Whereas the purple team, their 4 answers, giving them 20 minutes to cook, they had to choose 3 of fennel, toro, pretzels, and curry. God bless the yellow team. Their 3 ingredients, of which they had to use all of them. One of them was battered, so the was the answer. So they had to make a battered food thing, rice and sandwich. Like,
I have a question.
Yes.
Right? It's an opinion question.
Okay. You have to cook with the answer. Okay, go.
Would have been better if they had told them the part about their answers matching up with the matching up with what you have to cook with? Because I feel like they do something similar to this, like in Hell's Kitchen, where they do quizzes, but they know that like the answers, either they're gonna have to cook with that, or the opposing team is gonna have to cook with that. But you still want to answer the question correctly, because you decide if either you keep it or you give it to somebody else.
I was thinking of Hell's Kitchen when you were describing that. I was like,
yes.
If it was that you were going to have to use the ingredient no matter what, but you could it would have been interesting. I would have been interested to see that shifting gears stutter step of thinking where it's like, oh, I know, but I don't want anchovies.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's when my mind went to, like, what if you answer and you could either keep or pass, and then you described exactly what the Hell's Kitchen, what are the Hell's Kitchen techniques. I think that would have been interesting too.
Yeah, I wonder, because I feel like it just got a little repetitive with the one team getting all the answers right, and then I just wonder if maybe that would have made for a more compelling Quickfire overall. But I love Quickfire, so I was sat for every moment of this. So I mean, I was watching no matter what, but I was wondering, are there other mini challenges from other cooking shows they could have borrowed some ideas from?
Oh,
it's possible. I've never seen that show, so that sounds really fun, and I might start watching now.
Oh, there are some. Not all Hell's Kitchen seasons are made the same, but all of them do have very similar challenges and twists throughout it. I love Hell's Kitchen, so it's it is like my unhinged cooking show to watch.
I see.
Yeah,
it is possible that they borrowed this idea, but tweaked it in the way, that they didn't tell them ahead of time that they were going to be what they were saying were going to be the actual ingredients, because they didn't want the opportunity for them to strategize and give ingredients to the other team. They wanted them to just have to make do, you get what you get and you don't get upset kind of thing. And also it was a double surprise. So in my head, all I heard while they were grabbing their food was surprise, 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 surprise.
Oh boy. Let's talk about what the green team made. Well, and again, they had an embarrassment of riches in terms of ingredients. Even though this was top scallop in many ways, as was discussed when the guest judges came in. So Shuai made a nectarine salad with Napa cabbage, radish, jalapeno, shiso, and coconut noix cham. This looked really good. And I don't know if it's because it's also the only one of these dishes on the green team that Haley could have eaten without having
dying.
They're dying. I'll go through each of the dishes that we can reflect on the green team's selection. Corwin made a seared scallop with chili crisp and ginger beurre blanc, shrimp paste, yuzu, and shiso. Cesar made a seared scallop with chili crisp panko, roasted eggplant, and nectarine. And Vinny made a scallop crudo with raw sliced nectarines, jalapeno, shiso, and pistachios. Shuai ended up being in the top for his dish, but Corwin won with his. How did either this set of ingredients or some of these dishes strike you?
I love scallops. Love them.
Mhm.
And I feel like I don't get nearly enough of them in my life. So if someone were to say, you get to have all the scallops today on your guest, judging this show, I would be in heaven. Corwin's dish really stands out to me. The chili crisp and ginger beurre blanc is kind of like, right up my alley. Also, I'd be interested to try this dish that Cesar made, that has the roasted eggplant. I love eggplant. Love eggplant. And nectarines. Like, I would never think to put nectarine with that combination. So I would really like to try that.
I was surprised that like no one took the lamb, or that basically that 3 of the 4 of them took scallops and nobody took the lamb. But I think of the 4 dishes, I was actually looking at Vinny's dish.
We call him Yes Chef Mike Bloom, or YCMB over here.
Sorry.
I'm glad we're talking about this because I almost exclusively refer to him as Evil Mike Bloom.
Evil Mike Bloom?
There's just no other, and I don't think there's anything about Vinny that is particularly evil, but we already have our Mike Bloom, so we just need to have the evil counterpart.
He could be Bizarro Bloom.
He could be Bizarro, but like evil Mike Bloom just like rolls off the tongue so nicely.
I know,
I'm already trying to get it get the trademark for it. It's just
the merch.
Yeah. So I mean, I I love that we have a Mike Bloom lookalike here, and just every episode he does give Yes Chef vibes. Definitely.
Yes. Exactly. Does exactly.
Including in, we will talk about his main dish, but he does it every episode.
He does.
He as somebody whose like background is in consumer strategy, it's like he listens to the needs of his consumer.
He does.
Or intuits them, or tries to spark a resonance with them. He's not a brown noser. He just understands what would strike a chord with those he is serving.
Because he's been in restaurant environments where the entire purpose is the dining experience. Like, what is the person that is consuming the food in the atmosphere? Like, what are they feeling? Like, what are they getting out of it? So I feel like his food is really cool and interesting because he tailors it so much to like the dossier, but also picks up on little things that he hears the judges say. Yeah. I think that's like really smart as well, like really strategic. And people are going to say it's brown nosing when really it's doing the assignment.
It's going above and beyond. It's surprise and delight. It's everything you should be doing if you are the business.
Yeah,
it's a little brown nosing, I will say, but it's like a delightful one. It doesn't it's like an innocent type of homage to.
I feel like the act itself, like the food itself is amazing. It's the way he presents it, like the tone he uses that I think is like, and I remembered that you said.
I get, but it's a little brown nosy to me, but it's not to the point where I'm like, here Evil Mike Bloom goes again, sprinkling gold flakes on his meal because it happened to be super bad. Like it's like a fun little delightful nod, and the fact that they keep bringing it up throughout the this is not a one and done thing for him. In here, it happens all the time. It's like I can live with this. It's a running gag. It's like an Arrested Development running gag.
It's like Dan last season in Wisconsin, knowing all the things that are like true about Wisconsin cuisine. And there, I can't remember which contestant it was, like many seasons ago, where like every guest chef that came in like knew this.
Yes.
But I guess if we're calling him Evil Mike Bloom, can we call Mike Bloom what? My podcaster Vinny? I don't know what the.
I love that.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
I mean, we can
We'll
workshop it, but
it.
my podcaster Vinny, I think it's a pretty good one there. I actually watched My Cousin Vinny recently, and so
it's holds up, doesn't it?
It's a fantastic movie. So I think My Podcaster Vinny just kind of sounds like it's like a perfect little homage to both the film and his evil chef counterpart.
My evidence professor said that the cross-examinations, like the things that actually happen in the courtroom, are the most accurate depictions of courtroom, like what actually happens in the courtroom in a movie that he's ever seen.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that part is really cool too.
Oh. Jumping to the purple team, again, this was Paula, Massimo, Zubair, and Lana. They had fennel, toro, pretzels, and curry. Paula made pan-seared toro with red curry chimichurri, warm fennel salad with ponzu and tamari. Massimo made seared toro with yellow tomato and fennel broth and pretzel crumbs. Zubair made toro crudo with green curry emulsion, fennel togarashi, toasted pretzel dust, and fennel fronds. Was this where Michael Cera was asked if he ever had pretzel dust before? He's like, wait, at the bottom of the bag.
At the bottom of the bag.
That's actually that's probably the best answer I could have given.
Yeah, that's the only place that I've seen them. So thanks for putting them on my meal.
And then Lana made tuna tartare with curry vinaigrette, fennel fronds, and crushed pretzels. And those of you who are longtime listeners know how I would probably feel about all this fennel.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait till we get to Last Chance Kitchen. Because I feel like you were probably, I don't even know if you watched, you were like allergic to those episodes. Like there was no way. I think that, well, first of all, because it's like, in my little, what's it called? Header. I am Massimo's unfiltered rage. I think it's hilarious how angry he got about being in the bottom with his dish. He was just like, I tasted those other dishes. That's all I'm going to say. It's so good. Like, I have to, Gia, we have to talk about Massimo a lot because that's normally Haley's job. So.
I love Massimo. Just when I think he's like not gonna get any more insane, he proves me. He was like, no, I'm not on the bottom, okay? Because I tasted everyone's dishes, and I will leave it to you to think of what my opinion is on all of them. I do hope he does well in the show, so that we get him back as an actual guest judge and Top Chef. Like, I actually do need. I love this cast. I think this is a very strong cast. There really isn't anybody that I'm like, oh, I can deal with them not being here. I don't know about you guys, but I was devastated to lose Anya last episode.
I was too.
I was not so okay.
Sad.
I was trying, prior to you last week, I was trying to barter draft trades with Latonya because I wanted Anya.
That's very true.
I
should have done it.
I'm like, okay,
I should have done it.
But I think players like Massimo is just like, he's so entertaining, and I would love to he's a great contestant. I want to see him in either more cooking shows or to come back as a judge in a future Top Chef episode. But what we are getting from him so far is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like we're overdue for some sort of returnee season. It's been a while. And like none of this they get to find from Last Chance Kitchen. Let's get 12 returnees.
So the second All-Stars that they did, it was one of my favorite seasons of all time. I loved it, and it came at the perfect time because we couldn't go anywhere, and Winners at War was not helping me with the fact that we couldn't go anywhere. I was not having a good time. And the Top Chef All-Star season with the cast that I had was so good. I would love if they were able to recreate that in some way, especially with all of the new casts we have gotten since then. I think, and obviously there are some omissions from the previous seasons that we could definitely see again too, but I would love a returnee season soon.
Yeah.
Besides the I guess the world season was technically returnee, but I didn't know any of these people.
Yeah.
So they're new to me.
Yes.
Right.
Looking at the yellow team with their three, let's talk about these ingredients for a second. Because to be fair, there were 3 ingredients, but there was really like one cooking style, one cooking form, and an ingredient.
Sandwich is not an ingredient.
It's not an ingredient.
I watched Tournament of Champions now. That would not be in the ingredient pile. That would be in a style section.
Hold on. Remember how they had to sabotage a couple episodes ago? Someone could have bought a sandwich.
You have to use this as...
put this sandwich. It's an ingredient now. So,
they would have deconstructed it. By the time they used it, it would no longer... You get the sandwich, but then you turn the sandwich into ham, turkey, lettuce, tomato, and it's those things that become the ingredients in your new dish. I agree. Sandwich is not an ingredient.
Sandwich is not an ingredient.
Saying.
It is a style. It is a
it's an entire category of food
on Grubhub and DoorDash.
Exactly. It's its own, like, it's a star.
The DoorDash category, it does not count as an ingredient.
Yeah. So it's like so they had to make a battered sandwich that somehow incorporated rice that we just kind of assumed was in there. Kat made a banana and Nutella fried sandwich with raspberry cognac sauce. Yes, please.
Where did this come from?
I don't know. Like, this is one where I don't know where the rice is unless it was like in part of the sandwichy part. But anyway, Henry made a po' boy with tempura-based zucchini, turmeric rice. He called it turmeric. Turmeric rice, wine slaw, and grilled bread. So he went with a veggie po' boy. He wasn't planning on doing some sort of meat, but he couldn't find it at the store, so he had to go veggie or something like that.
Yeah,
he
was looking for something. I can't remember what it was.
Katiana made an open-faced crab salad sandwich with curry batter crispies, which I assume are rice. And Tristan made mozzarella and carrozza with mustard emulsion, scallions, and honey. That thing that Kat put together. Oh,
that sounds so good.
That just, that's like the sort of thing that I would like pick up at the bakery, like at like if I'm grocery shopping, and just like they wouldn't even make it home. I'd be like consuming it. I'm gonna walk to the car. Wouldn't even make it to the car.
I'm thinking like as one of the featured desserts at a wedding or something.
Yes.
Like, that would be perfect and really, like, stand out. It's just such a cool dish. It looked pretty as well. And it's just, like, poppable, Like, to eat a million of them.
I didn't taste any of these dishes, and I know that Kat was robbed. Like, I just know that Kat was robbed here. I'm sorry. It's just, it was in the top, but... This sounds incredible.
Yeah. So Kat was in the top along with Shuai and Corwin. Corwin ended up winning. At the bottom were Massimo and his seared toro. I think it was the fennel that put him in the bottom personally. Henry's vegetarian po' boy and Tristan's mozzarella and carrozza. Tristan, who thought he was going to like wipe up the competition with and his team did too. Like, we're taking Tristan. He's going to win this. No, it did not happen.
The narrator voice, but just wait.
Yeah.
Yes, just wait.
The monkey's paw curled and like Tristan will win, but not until later.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he got to go to Italy though. That sounds great. This was apparently an amazing dish in Italy.
Yeah. Should we jump to the elimination challenge? Where I'm glad someone reminded me at the beginning that Katiana won last week, because I completely forgot until someone like mentioned it during this whole like the shopping process. Like, aren't you glad you're immune? I'm like, oh yeah,
right.
I think it happened 7 days ago. Again, one of the reasons I hate the new win immunity last week is I can never remember.
I completely forgot that she won immunity.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we have this discussion yet. I hate that they don't give them immunities during quickfires anymore. Like, it's not just the memory thing. I love the idea of some random person winning a random quickfire and being immune. It just, and it can also, like, if you want to throw in immunity sometimes for winning the main challenge, totally get it. But I miss them winning immunity during the quickfires.
Yeah.
And I
do
think
too.
and it rewards something different. Rewarding immunity for a quickfire is rewarding a different skill set than rewarding, I'd say, the winner of immunity challenge. Like, you usually have to be a lot more agile in your thinking and your creativity. It rewards a specific, I think it awards a wider range of abilities, which is kind of why I like it. And it isn't rewarding the person who did the best at the challenge where someone went home. You're just continuing to reward the person. We haven't had like the same winner multiple times like that.
Yeah.
I do feel that way. I think it hasn't happened yet with this cast. I think we've gotten a different winner every episode. But even last season, it became kind of like just a shuffle of immunity between maybe the same like 3 or 4 people. Yeah. And then those 3 or 4 people ended up making up like the final subsection of people in the season. So it just kind of makes it a little, I feel like the quickfire winners are a little more random, a little less predictable. And as you said, Curt, it awards a different skill set. I feel like it awards a lot more of like adaptability in that situation. And we often get some like unsung heroes from the quickfires.
Yeah.
So I, for my entertainment purposes, I enjoy the immunity for the quickfire. And I get they probably may prefer getting money for winning the quickfires, but like I don't care
what they want.
You can also do that.
I don't care who's winning. Like, I don't like keeping the track of the money counter of how much. I don't care who's made the most money from the quickfires at the end of this. It's just like it's not. It doesn't add anything to my entertainment value here.
But like the reason that they kept that line in about her having immunity is because they know that we've all forgotten.
Yeah.
Like they realize what they're doing and that it's not so much working, but they're like, we'll just cut around it, basically. We'll just edit, it to work.
Yeah. Well, looking at the elimination challenge, I thought this was interesting. I thought one of our predictions last week was actually going to come true. I'll get back around to that. But here they had to create a savory dish out of a sweet, iconic Canadian dessert. So they did have to draw knives. They weren't cooking in pairs per se, like in terms of a team, but each duo was given a different iconic Canadian dessert, which whether you deconstruct it or leapfrog to a related ingredient or something, that dessert had to inspire a savory dish. One of the things we talked about last week was, I said, like, I'm expecting there to be Timbits, like the little donut holes from Tim Hortons, or beaver tails, like they're big, like donut thingies. And I thought for sure that one of the 6 desserts was going to be a beaver tail. No. So I think we had Nanaimo bars, potato chocolate cake, date squares, figgy duff, jams. I just was very excited to see that. And Carson's. Oh no, wait, that's Survivor. Butter tarts. Sorry for the non-Survivor watchers. That was a jam joke, triple J. What did you guys think about this like structure, like basically the concept of the challenge?
It was fine. Like, I like the idea that they're both present, like, they have to draw knives. So like it's left up to chance, like who gets what. And they are essentially kind of like competing against each other when bringing out the dishes, even though that's very much unspoken.
Yeah, they're going to be directly compared. Like we've seen that in the past when they're just doing 12 dishes and then we find out the 2 of them are both doing a a lobster gnocchi, and they're like, oh crap, like
Right.
one of us is gonna have to be on a bottom, one of us is gonna be not on a bottom, or like
Yeah.
This is one of those things where, like, you know, Haley is missed because what the fuck? Like, what do you mean the 9-0? Like a Figgy Duff?
yeah.
Like, that's my friend Figgy Duff. Like
Yeah.
I like a
Tristan's look of
butter tart.
disgust.
I just don't. What are you saying? I am very glad. Like, I will say that the first thing that I thought they like when they were brought out desserts, I was like, oh, they're gonna have to make desserts. I was not happy about that possibility because we've seen what happens when they force them to make desserts on Top Chef. It like never goes well. So I was very like pleasantly surprised when they flipped it and said, no, you're going to use this as an inspiration for a savory dish.
Yeah.
In part because of like how terrible they are at making desserts for the most part, but also because I'm just not really a dessert person. Like, I will have dessert, but I'm not like, I am here for dessert. Like, I'm a savory girl.
Oh, we are so different in that opinion there. I must have dessert. It's not a full meal without a dessert in there. But I do like the idea of turning desserts into savory dishes. So I actually really love this
I like
challenge.
That a lot.
I like also, I love the face-off challenge. Like, I love the ones where we actually have like you go against somebody and there's going to be a winner and there's going to be somebody that is on the bottom as a result. But I kind of like the switch up here that it was you're in pairs, like you are still in a set, so it's easier to follow. But it doesn't necessarily mean that one of you is going to be on the top and one of you is going to be on the bottom. And I'm actually kind of happy that they did that because it looks like for this challenge, we had, two of the top were in the same category and two on the bottom were in the same category. So I was very happy to see some of, to see kind of like the switch up from the expected format for here. So it was good.
That creates an interesting point. Like, I'm going to go a little bit out of order here, but let's start with the butter tart. Henry and Zubair drew the butter tart in terms of what they had to make a savory dish that was inspired by. Henry made seared duck breast with brown sugar corn syrup glaze, mushroom crumb, jus, and parsnip puree. And Zubair made seared duck breast with shirmal, pecan, and cashew korma. First of all, again, like, they both went duck breast, which I thought was interesting. I'm wondering if I don't think that would have like been an unspoken part of this, given some of the other dishes, but yeah, they seem like the butter tart was very reminiscent of a pecan pie. Like, if for those of us non-Canadians who aren't familiar with the butter tart, it sounded like a small pecan pie. But here, Henry was on the bottom, and so was Zubair, but Zubair ended up getting eliminated. I guess the reason I had started here was, like, what if the butter tart was just a shit dessert to draw, and like whoever was going to get the butter tart was going to lose. Like, nobody can handle the butter tart. What if that's the reality we're living in? And it wasn't necessarily fair. They got the crappy dessert.
Should have had the beaver tail. Could have avoided all of this.
If I had
if they could have just nailed that Tim Hortons sponsorship here, like, it could have all been different.
Yep.
You're really dropping the ball, Top Chef. What? Yeah. I mean, like, I have not even heard, like, there's not even a person named Tim that's come into the show at any point. What I've been told about Canadians, I guess, is a lie.
Okay.
So I've got to reevaluate all that now.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that, like, what about the butter tart specifically made them both say
duck breast.
Do a duck breast? Yeah.
Like
surely
what?
There is another protein. So, like, you're already getting compared, but like, you're already getting compared to one another because you're using your dishes that are based on the same dessert here. But now it's like literally a direct comparison because you both did butter tart based savory dishes with duck breast, and apparently neither of them were really good. But I actually think maybe sharing the dessert with Zubair may have saved Henry here, because I think that direct comparison made it a lot harder for the judges to ignore the fact that Zubair's dish was significantly worse than Henry's. It even actually sounded like Henry's was the best of the bottom here.
I was just reading like the names of the dishes, and this is like how goldfish memory I am. I was like, and you put mushroom crumb in it. Why would you put mushroom crumb in like a pecan pie? And I was like, oh yeah, because they have to make it savory. So I was like, I completely forgot about that. I think I was even like just like reading these again and viewing it through the lens of these would be really horrible desserts. but they're not. They're savory dishes.
I'm glad that we got there. Eventually. Yeah, we got there. We're all just taking our time, you know.
Yeah.
Just living life.
Looking up another dessert were jams. Katiana and Shuai got those. Katiana, she made a rye porridge with molasses, glazed mushrooms, raspberry, and bacon confit. She was in the middle, but she was also safe regardless of what was going to happen here. Shuai made sukane with raspberry pepper jelly, tare, chilled napa, and hot mustard. He was also at the bottom. In fact, the last 3 dishes that were presented in the lineup ended up being at the bottom. Anything stand out about the about this? Give me the bacon confit all day, every day. But
oh, you go first.
No, please. As our guest.
Oh, thank you. Oh, like Michael Cera, I am a guest here, so get my fan out. That was one of my favorite moments of the episode, actually. It was like, he's a fun guy. Like, bring him back, okay? Like,
really
I see
fun.
You, Michael Cera.
Have him bring
actor
Seth.
/ top chef super fan.
Have him bring Seth Rogen with him, because also a Canadian.
That's a good point. They had I'm wondering, I think this may have also, like, I think we could also bring in that question of, were jam jams just a crap dessert to pull here? Because I don't think either of them did that great. But I can't wrap my head around the fact that Shuai just like did not believe that he was on the bot. Like, he did not believe that like his dessert deserved, or his meal based on a dessert should have been there. And it was almost like he was like, no, this is wrong. Like, it's a less funnier take on Massimo tasted all the other dishes. That's all I'm gonna say. He's not a good loser, I guess I will say.
Yeah, not everyone is. Like, sometimes you know, to be the best at something, you have to hate to lose more than you love to win. And so it could be an instance of that happening. But like, also, I just implicitly trust Katiana with everything. So if there's a contest, she's gonna win, in my opinion.
Well, look at those eyebrows. Those are the eyebrows of a winner.
Exactly.
Yes.
The eyebrows.
Yes. It's I rest my case. I'm good at debate now.
I literally, you are. Listen, as a debate coach for Harvard, I can tell you that you have done great impact calculus, is what we would call that. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, and you've won the debate. But yeah, I thought that I was the only person who was obsessed with her eyebrows. I think I brought it up last week.
They were sculpted to the gods. I'm impressed.
Whoever microbladed them, congratulations on your winnings. I'm sure you're a millionaire.
The best endorsement that you could possibly get here.
It's just her on the show being.
That's all we need.
That's all we need. I love her.
Speaking of shit desserts, we get the figgy duff. Corwin, Tristan especially was not very happy with getting this one. Corwin made jerk marinated chicken with miso raisin barbecue sauce and cabbage slaw. Tristan made pepper pot with braised lamb, lamb fat madeleine, and pickled grapes. Yeah, so I actually, when they showed it, I was like, is that a panettone? And they're like, it looks like a sickly panettone. And I was like, oh, I'm not alone.
His look of disgust when he got it, that it's just like you couldn't even. I love when the chefs go off script with it, of just like, I hate this form of, I hate this thing, whatever particular thing that is about the challenge, like this dessert, I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was enjoying Tristan this episode, and let's remember he's immune next week. So just
Tristan had an excellent episode.
Yeah.
This is a really, really good episode for him. Yeah. One thing that I will say is that I know we haven't talked about Corwin yet. We're getting there, but I am obsessed with Tristan and Corwin going like down home with this challenge and doing very well. Yes. I hope that this shows future chefs who are going to be on this show, who are like Black or who are like people of color, that they can serve any kind of food that they want on Top Chef and still do well. Your presence and the way you come to the dish, like what elevates it. So I'm over the moon that Tristan and Corwin killed it in this challenge.
And he was like, I don't know if people will know what pepper pot is, but I'm cooking the South. I'm bringing it up, and we're doing it here in Canada.
It's been a good year for Guyana in reality TV. So I'm very happy to see that. I was a little worried about him because, when they focus on a chef in the edit, and Top Chef doesn't have the same edit that like the winner edit, I think, that you read from like Survivor, where you feel like you can kind of read the edit to figure out who the winner would be. But with Top Chef, they give me so much anxiety when my favorites get a lot of screen time in here. So I'm like, are they going to just give us this whole segment with Tristan about how he really wants to bring like the African diaspora, like his heritage, and like elevating Black chefs to the Top Chef, arena, I guess I'll say. Yeah. That, and then send him home or have him in the bottom here. So I was a little, especially when he was in the bottom in the Quickfire as well. So I was a little worried about him here, but he pulled it out, and Corwin was also like really strong. I was worried about Corwin from some of the previous episodes where he wasn't doing too hot, but he's been kind of on a uptick in the past 2 episodes.
He was like, he started the episode out, so I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yep. I'm like, oh, this is Tristan especially with his family message we got in the previous episode. I'm like, oh no, why are we seeing this now? But then we also got Henry's this episode.
Henry is like,
I thought Henry was gone. I'm like, we got the Evelyn segment too. It's over for the Henry Nation.
Henry thought Henry was gone.
That's true. He was shocked.
Zubair and Henry were shocked.
Yes.
I mean, Henry is like, to use a term from Drag Race, letting his inner saboteur drive the bus here. Like, he's making mistakes that he shouldn't make because he's so freaked out and stressed out by the competition itself. And I don't like that trajectory for him. Like, I want to see him doing better than that.
Yeah, he better not pull a Last Chance Kitchen Sam and just withdraw from the competition. Sorry, Gia. Do you have thoughts on that?
On just like the Sam of it. So I don't know what happened with that, why he did anything ever come out about why he decided to pull out of the competition, or was it?
I think it was, I don't think so. I think it was just like preserving his own, like just mental, like just health.
Yeah. That's fair.
He was taking care of himself.
But I hate that last, like, I get everybody loved Sue last season. I hate, like, Sue could have been a regular contestant, right? Like, we didn't need to do all of this. Like, he's like a secret contestant that half the people that don't watch Last Chance Kitchen know about. And then we get like a surprise entry into the cast in like episode 7. So I hate the fact that they were trying to do that again, and I think they did it because Sue was so likable, and like he could have been likable from the premiere if you just put him in the episode. Like he did not have to be a Quickfire like alternate in there, and I don't even know why he was an alternate.
Yeah, I will see if they continue with it next season. I'm hoping they don't, but we'll see. But what do you guys think of dried grapes? I'm just raising the question.
I mean, I am frankly offended that you would ask us that.
Raising the question.
In 2025.
Raising the question, Latonya. I'm raising the question.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Raising.
You got it.
No. Country Road, take me home.
You
can't kick me out for these jokes anymore. Yeah.
I got it.
I
don't want to see a raisin baked into anything on my, like, if you're going to serve me raisins, it better be in a dish like separate, like it needs to be optional.
A bowl of raisins.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
I incorporated the raisins by putting a bowl of raisins next to that. If the dessert itself has raisins, right? Would using just a regular grape in your dish count as deconstructed? Because you are really deconstructing the raisin to its original form, which is a grape. Or alternatively, if you cook with wine, is that also a part of deconstructing the raisin?
Yeah, it's not as impactful a difference as like a pickle and a cucumber.
I'm just glad that we're asking the important question.
Yes,
really hard hitting journalism.
Let's talk about
answer the question, Kristen Kidd.
Yeah. So date squares are what's up next. Cesar and Massimo had date squares. And just like Henry and Zubair just happened to both choose duck breast, they both happen to choose lamb. And not just lamb tartare.
Why?
Lamb tartare with date and shallot puree, roasted carrot puree, and bunello, not puree. Massimo made lamb tartare with Ras El Hanout crisp, dates jam, and Ras El Hanout yogurt. I would have really wanted to try the heck out of Massimo's tartare.
I love tartare, so these both sounded good to me, but were these chefs like not talking to each other about what? I just think if I was in Top Chef and had a direct pair partner in here, I would not want to be making the same, like if we're already getting the same ingredients, I don't want the same protein, let alone the same style of said protein in there.
Yeah, well, they end up being safe. But still, I don't know. Is it weird that the yogurt puts it over the top for me? Like that like a lamb tartare with kind of like a Mideastern spiced yogurt.
I just thought I don't. We talked about the beef tartares last week.
Yeah.
Right. First of all, I'm not sure if I want lamb. Like have I had lamb? Probably, I'm not sure, but like if I have, then I don't eat it very often because I like lambs. They're like so cute, and so I can't imagine like wanting to eat one. I especially can't imagine wanting to eat one raw. So the idea of a lamb tartare is just like, oh no, thank you. Like that is not an hors d'oeuvre that you need to pass to me.
Where do you fall on the lamb spectrum, Gia?
I like lamb. I don't think I've ever tried lamb tartare on here, but it sounds delicious. And I agree with you. I think the Massimo one, the ingredients just blend together. I'm sure the other one was also very good. I mean, they're both in the middle, so sounds good.
Cesar was supposedly had the better dish, right? Like,
I know,
wasn't Michael Cera talking about how he like wanted to befriend Cesar, and then one of the judges said that Massimo's lamb, like it was like the texture was not great.
Yeah.
But I'm ignoring that because I just can't live in a world where I think not you. I'm ignoring the judges' commentaries because I
didn't think it was personal.
Okay, yeah, I just don't want to believe that carrot puree was better than date jam with yogurt. Like that's not the world I want to live in.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
And just a quick Google. I just want to correct myself. It's a Western African spice, not a Mideastern spice. Morocco, Algiers, Tunisia. I think I'm and haven't they complained previously on Top Chef about soft on soft from a texture perspective? Because tartare with puree sounds like soft on soft. I think maybe subconscious. I mean, not that yogurt and jam on tartare isn't soft on soft, but it just seems like it would still be a difference in consistency almost. But potato chocolate cake. This seemed to be the only dish people were like excited about, and I think it's only because there's potato in this. This will be easy. Vinny and Lana had the potato chocolate cake. Vinny made roasted Yukon potatoes with chocolate miso glaze and caviar vin blanc with some gold flakes. Lana made cacao gnocchi with cacao braised lamb and pickled shallots.
Listen, Lana, I love you. Please continue being on this show. Safe is still in the show, but you were right in your fears. That gnocchi looked like poop.
Yeah.
It looked like pellets of poop, and then you covered it with a brown sauce. And then to make it pretty, added like some colorful herbs or whatever that was. Yeah. So you didn't even put lipstick on a pig. You put like accoutrement on a poop.
Have you guys watched Pressure Cooker on Netflix? Right?
No.
Apparently, I did, and I podcasted about it, but I don't believe Haley when she says that.
Yeah,
because I checked. Okay. Because Katiana
she was on that show, right?
Lana
was on the show. So I have extra, and I loved Pressure Cooker. Like if Netflix doesn't know what they're doing, not giving me like 10 more seasons of that immediately.
You can just stop at Netflix doesn't know what they're doing.
I mean, yeah, that's just the the really overall thesis here. But Lana was like one of the best chefs in that competition, and then she got eliminated kind of like middle way through because she was so talented, and everyone was in an uproar about you can't do that, but they can because it's a Netflix. This isn't Top Chef. It's a Netflix cooking show, but now she's actually in Top Chef, so I am very invested in her success. She's been in the middle. This is kind of a miss to me. So yes. I'm hoping that eventually we will be getting some stuff from Lana where she's able to step up her game about like being in the bottom consistently. Because I love gnocchi, but I don't know. I would still eat this, but be a little judgy. Like I would feel bad about it. Like, because I know what it looks like I'm eating.
Like blindfold me and then I'll be good.
I will eat this, but like in the comfort of my own home.
I'll keep that in mind, Curt.
Yes.
I'm more conscious when I look like eating it than eating it.
Yes.
The person at the table who was like, I just can't eat any more of this. I felt so bad like that. That's not good. Like, you have the judges that are just like, I wish there was more on the plate. You never want to hear there is too much of this food. I don't want it.
My favorite was towards the very end. It was one of the ducks. I think it was Henry's where Michael Cera was like gonna go eat that more to be polite, and I was like, no.
JK. LOL.
Yeah.
Our final pairing, the Nanaimo bars.
The Nanaimo
bars. Kat and Paula had this. Kat made Nanaimo duck breast with mustard custard, which is fun to say, duck skin, and walnut Nanaimo crumble and soy cacao ganache. She ended up being on the top. Paula made cacao rub braised pork belly with coconut vanilla vinaigrette, roasted beets, and chocolate graham cracker. Yeah.
Okay. A Nanaimo bar is a no-bake dessert named after Nanaimo, a Canadian city in British Columbia. It consists of 3 layers: a coconut crumb base, a custard filling, and a chocolate ganache topping.
This was the best sounding dessert of the bunch.
Yeah, that actually sounds really good.
It's just, it's an everything bar. Like, why deconstruct it? It's already perfect. So I have no notes on the dessert. I think this makes perfect sense. But I feel like these, maybe it's just because these were in the beginning, but I was just like, oh, that's nice. And then I went on with the other.
Yeah. I loved the fact that we learned some more about Kat's improbable life.
This episode. I was so.
I mean, like, can we just have a drink? Kat, can we just go and have a drink and like talk about your life, the lives you have lived? A burlesque performer, a go-go dancer.
She's like a tolerable Debbie Warner.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like that.
For those who watch Survivor, she was known for like her lower third that had her job. She kept like basically adding to her resume, like, and I was a caretaker of nuns, and I was a detective, and I was a bodyguard. And they kept changing it over the.
Yeah. Oh, that was
who
great.
among us has not been a caretaker of nuns, though?
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I'd have to ask Kat. I want to know, Kat, have you taken care of nuns in one of your many careers over time? Yeah. I loved hearing more Kat lore. It was great. Her, Katiana, and Anya, hit me up. Let's go do a drink at some point.
Let's go, girls.
Yes.
Talking about Canada. Paula, I feel bad for because I feel like Paula is always in the middle, but has the most distressed look on her face. Like, whenever I look at Paula during challenges, I just immediately tense up because you can like feel the stress coming off of her.
Did you see the previews from the next episode?
I did.
It is not getting better for her.
It's not getting better for her.
It is not getting better for poor Paula.
Mm.
Her and her partner, Evil Mike Bloom, go at it.
They are the two. Okay, the fact that they are partnered up, they are the two most like diametrically opposed personalities in the competition. That is going to be a good episode of television.
I know I'm going to cry if whoever goes home.
It's going to be someone from my team.
I get so anxious for the duo challenge when it's a double elimination.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't tell me that.
It's really scary.
Okay, but also in the preview, they said an entire team is going to get eliminated.
Yeah.
But she says it when they're all in this big clump. I'm like, how big are you making these teams? Like, what do you mean an whole team is getting eliminated? And then you see the challenge and they're in pairs. So I'm like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Terrifying.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just trying to do the math on that because we just lost somebody. They're going to have an odd number of people because they just did a pairs challenge, but also there's a returnee from LCK. So we'll get to that. So anyway, speaking of, we'll get to LCK shortly because at the bottom, as we already kind of mentioned throughout, were the final 3 to serve their dishes: Shuai, Henry, and Zubair. And I think literally every surprise, except maybe Shuai. But no, I think Zubair ended up getting eliminated. Lots of looks of surprise as they're standing there. So Zubair is off to LCK.
I wasn't surprised. The second Zubair said, you really just got to leave Duck alone. I was like, well, another person from my draft team is gone. I immediately knew it. I was like, there's no way that was said and the Duck isn't going to be messed up, and there we were.
Yeah. I do think the fact that him and Henry were paired up together is what made this worse for him and better for Henry, because I think if they didn't have, first of all, if they didn't have the same protein, or if they were paired on different desserts and used different ingredients, and they both also happen to be in the bottom, they don't have the direct comparison where they say, well, Zubair's dish is worse than Henry's. So if we're talking about one of them going home, we have to go with the person whose duck, or this was the duck one, right? Yeah. Whose seared duck breast was worse than the other. But it's interesting to see, because it means that, like Top Chef I don't think that this is a show, like this is a judging panel that would have sent Zubair home if they didn't genuinely think that he had the worst in that time. So it makes it a little more realistic. Like they couldn't actually send home Henry if his dish wasn't the worst, and they have a direct comparison with someone that used near the same ingredients here that did significantly worse than him.
Yeah, they've got a good track record of kind of keeping it real. So let's talk a little bit about LCK. Here it was, Zubair coming in and cooking against Bailey. It was the Chicago battle.
It was.
They had to basically take the same 3 ingredients to bake both a savory and a sweet dessert. They had an hour to do so, but after 30 minutes, they had to serve the savory dish. And then the other catch was that if there was something about your dish that Tom thought needed correcting, you had to go fix it before you could make your sweet dish. I wasn't exactly clear on if the loser of the savory dish had to fix something, or if it was possible for him to just like one dish better, but they both advanced. I wasn't really clear on that, but ingredients wise, Bailey's 2 dishes incorporated pine nuts, fennel pollen, which sounds like 2 things I love, licorice tasting vegetables and allergies, and honey, whereas Zubair made cardamom, fennel, and saffron. So that's my main gripe with saffron. It tastes too much like it's got that anise flavor. It tastes like licorice. It's tolerable when cooked. That goes largely away when cooked, but I don't know fennel pollen. I don't know if it's the same flavor.
I guess we have to disagree on this Curt, because I'm just mad about saffron. Okay, so this.
Okay,
I had to do it. This Last Chance Kitchen was even more chaotic than normal because it happened immediately after Zubair was eliminated.
Oh, yeah, that's. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it was like, pack your knives, but don't pack them too tight because we're about to use them again.
And then you all going back, tell the other chefs that they're going to have another contestant joining them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what? Did no one plan this?
Yeah.
But yeah, in my notes, I literally wrote, "This Last Chance Kitchen is Curt's nightmare. Every dish has fennel."
Yeah.
LOL.
LOL. Thank you for the LOL. I'm laughing at Curt's misery. I thought it was too. I found Bailey's strategy strategic. Like just very well thought out in terms of strategery. And you broke me. The fact that like
I've heard that before.
I'm gonna cook cook my dish for 30 minutes and serve it. Whereas Bailey knew she wanted to make panna cotta, and it's like that's gonna take a long time to do. So she was kind of just like what I assume real chefs do. We're cooking be able to cook a couple things simultaneously. So she got her dessert and her savory dish started. She's able to actually largely get her dessert started. Yeah,
because it had to set.
Yeah, and then she was just kind of like, well, I'll take 15 minutes to make my savory dish, or however much time she ended up having. So Bailey ended up submitting for the savory dish, honey pork with fennel caponata, whereas Zubair made seared scallop with red Thai curry emulsion and roasted golden oyster mushrooms. Tom ended up liking Bailey's more, so she continued to make her dessert. Whereas Zubair, who was kind of lamenting that his mushrooms were a little bit softer than he would have liked, Tom called him out on it. You know what? If you think something's wrong with your dish, don't say it so that Tom can potentially hear, or that the producers can feed it to Tom as a reason.
Seriously.
As we just got done saying, we think that the judging is always legitimate, which I truly believe.
Especially if it's Tom.
Yeah.
Tom is the most legitimate.
Yes, he's too legit.
Too legit to quit.
Exactly.
Hey.
So Zubair had to go back and make his mushrooms crispier. It was good he didn't have to make the whole dish again, because that kind of
it's just the mushrooms.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms, by the way. Just
I love oyster mushrooms so much. They're so good.
I'm a mushroom fan. Then we talked last week. I still like me some truffle. I still like me some truffle oil.
Same.
Put it on my popcorn, put it on my fries. It's all good. Between these two dishes, which would you each have kind of leaned toward a bit? You're on a tasting menu. These are your two options for the second course.
Yeah.
Or fifth.
I think Zubair, because Bailey said that she made her caponata out of fennel, right?
Instead of eggplant. Yeah.
Instead of eggplant. And I would prefer the eggplant. So with that being missing, I would be like, oh, scallop, check, mushrooms, check,
And if you being an eggplant aficionado would have known, like Tom, that a caponata is like Italian for eggplant, and so you would have ordered that, and there's no eggplant, you would have been pissed.
I would have.
Yeah. What's this fennel? No. Gia, were you leaning towards one of these? I apologize
if I'm looking at these on a tasting menu, I would be going with Zubair's. I love same Latonya. I love scallops. I love mushrooms. I love curry. There's nothing wrong with what Bailey Bailey's choices on like the dish and everything. That's just not what would stick out to me personally.
Right.
But I trust Tom in that he would, especially with, I feel like they had to have known that people have a more vested interest as viewers, especially if they aren't watching Last Chance Kitchen, in Zubair returning over Bailey, especially with his elimination just happening. So I trust that the better dishes won this challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when the hour elapses, they have to serve their sweet dish. Zubair probably had about 20 minutes left. I was kind of keeping an eye on the clock. So for his sweet dish, he served up cardamom saffron French toast with berry compote and dalet ki chat. Whereas Bailey, she made for her sweet dish fennel pollen honey panna cotta with golden raisin and pine nut relish and honeycomb.
The raisins again.
There's the raisins again, and she was trying to describe what the panna cotta is supposed to jiggle like. Apparently, it didn't jiggle like it was supposed to. That was like the main complaint that Tom had. But Tom, I think where Tom gave us I had issues with both dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I figured he would go with Bailey's because he just kept eating it. as he was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Is it really a panna cotta, guys? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, he's probably telling himself, I just excused this caponetta, which had no eggplant in it. Now I'm gonna, this is really good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it seemed like the consistency was a little bit off, but he really liked the flavor.
Yeah.
Also, just I don't know why, but people who follow me on Twitter know this. During the pandemic, I called it the panna cotta. And so when she said she was gonna make a panna cotta, I lost it. I now associate that dish with 2020 and the pandemic. I don't make the rules. I can't help it.
I called it the pandemic. Made it sound cute.
Yeah, Demi.
Hide all my suffering.
Panna coated. Sorry. So Zubair, well, Zubair ended up getting eliminated. Bailey is going to be returning. I was surprised that LCK was already. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Wait. So Zubair, did he just lose, or is he officially out? Like they are starting from scratch with Last Chance Kitchen?
Tom said thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
that
just
would
like,
be all.
yeah.
I kind of hate that because
Right?
I feel like they normally, whoever loses the Last Chance Kitchen for the mid-season finale just goes back
Goes to the
into.
next.
They've been pretty consistent about wiping the slate clean.
They
Like,
do. Okay.
Yeah, because they always there's usually like a
Oh, you're right.
And and also like keep in mind we were supposed to have 3 people here, so I'm also wondering if they were going to send 2 people back in, because last season they sent in 2.
Yeah.
But they just, if next week is a double elimination, it's so that they can split with an LCK elimination. Is my guess.
This makes sense.
I could be completely wrong and just misremembering, Gia. There may have been some carryover. I know that at the very least, there's been times where I've wanted that to be the case. So that may have happened a few seasons.
I think you're right, because I think there have been times where it was like the double elimination happens right after the first LCK return, and that's why we always started with 2 people in in Last Chance Kitchen like immediately after. So yeah, I think you're right, but I kind of wish they were like, Zubair, you can try again.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, he's got such a great resume, and like he had some good moments on the show as well. Like he's been nominated for 2 James Beard Awards.
Yeah, Bailey's not been nominated for anything, she told us.
I have really enjoyed Bailey's personality coming out in Last Chance Kitchen. I'm like, oh, she's funny. I like her. Like I feel like when we originally got her even in the episode she was eliminated, it was like a very quiet edit. And I originally assumed they did that because they didn't want us to miss her when, like, after she was eliminated, because she was such an early boot. But I'm happy I watched Last Chance Kitchen because you're able to actually like see her personality shine through a little more. And then we're also getting her return to Top Chef now, where I'm sure we'll get to see more of that personality again. I do hate though that they give her immunity right off the bat. I feel like
they had to after last time. Like, because didn't Sue come into the competition and immediately lose?
No, or Kalina
he was on for a bit.
Sue was he made like final 6 or 7, I think.
But there was gosh, what was it? A brother? Wouldn't Brother Luck? He came back, I think, from LCK and was just exhausted and immediately but that's at least
that's what I was thinking.
Long run though.
Yeah, and this I do think it is because this is someone who's just gotten done like back to back to back. Even though they've also, but they're not having LCKs any less frequently than the main players are having elimination challenges. So
like, I'm not trying to dismiss that Bailey hasn't done a lot of work and is exhausted and all that stuff, but I feel like getting back into the competition is the reward. Then you getting immunity on top of that when we're about, what if her team loses in a double elimination?
It's wild.
Like what, or is she automatic? Oh,
she's paired with
pulling someone in and that person's safe.
Or she is paired with
Tristan. Oh, that makes sense. So Tristan and Bailey can just kind of do whatever they want. They could say, screw this competition.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Maybe that
maybe they'll be judged. I think they did that one. Someone just didn't participate in one of the challenges.
Well, yeah, they were like the judges for it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a little more sense then.
I like that too. Maybe that's her form of immunity. She gets to watch.
That makes sense, because if they're doing double elimination, then maybe her and Tristan are either a pair together so they can get another win, or they are they're not partaking in this challenge. This is a good challenge to have immunity for.
Very good, yeah. But like two people having immunity is
You can't pair them up with anybody if it's a double elimination like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, like episode 4 seemed really soon for LCK, because usually, like in my mind, I'm playing through, oh, how are they going to react to this person who's been away for like so long? But it was just like literally
3 days ago.
I do think they're probably expecting Zubair to come back, though. So I have a feeling that
it'll still be a little surprise.
Yeah, it'll still be a little bit of a surprise. It was even though I hate how they executed Last Chance Kitchen last year, it was funny to see Kalina come back and then Sue come back as well, or come in for the first time, and everyone's like, "Who is this man? Who is this random man?
Who is he? Hello, who are you?
Hello. I don't remember you."
I wonder at what point in the watching of the season that the contestants are doing as it airs, that they're like, wait, there were 2 people we never met? Like Ying and Sam, like they're just realizing, like no one told them ever, and they just don't realize it till the first LCK airs.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't understand how Top Chef fans just don't watch Last Chance Kitchen, because I don't know where you guys watch it, but I watch it on Peacock. And I always, at the end of the episode, I'm like, oh, that's sad. No more Top Chef. And then I get the reminder of like, you have a new Last Chance Kitchen episode on. So it's like, you get an extra 15 minutes. It's like a little pick-me-up.
It is. It's Tom.
And it's Tom.
It's Tom.
I loved the hats last episode.
Yeah.
The hat trick.
So good.
So well done.
Well, we kind of wrapped up this episode, which takes us to the final part of every episode. Latonya, I know what you had to eat this week. We had a discussion about it on text message. So go into some detail. Like, what did you eat that was interesting this week?
Well, if you must know, so I was actually like staying in a hotel for a little bit, and like, you know, for job purposes, and I was able to like basically just order from the restaurant downstairs. They don't have room service at that hotel, though. They lie on the website that they have room service. You have to go down and pick up the food, which I think is ruining America.
You are right for that.
Yeah, there are so many more hotels that are starting to do that, and I don't like it. You cannot say that you have room service everywhere on your website and then like have a button for room service when I have to go downstairs and pick up my food. Anyway.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And people don't talk about it enough. So good on you for bringing this
bringing awareness to this very important situation. I'm always trying to spread awareness. So this place had like a really huge menu. It was actually Weber Grill. I don't know if you know. Yeah. And they have like a really big menu. So I just kind of tried a lot of different things. I had spicy sticky ribs that were like lemongrass chili glaze with a basil sesame like barbecue sauce. They were really good. I had a Maryland style crab cake that came with like a whole grain mustard sauce. The crab cake was pretty good. It was like dense. Like I feel like I could use it as a weapon if I needed to. But that's like my only complaint about it. It was pretty good. I also tried their country egg rolls, which are smoked brisket, corn, cheddar, black beans, jalapeno, and then like a barbecue mayo sauce.
I can feel that sitting in my stomach as you describe it. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a lot. I didn't eat very much of that. But what I did eat quite a bit of was this 26th Street shrimp thing, which is just like I asked them to add mushrooms to it, but It's just like Gulf shrimp over a bed of like steamed spinach.
Okay.
Over like rice with like a butter sauce. And it was actually really good. Like the mushrooms were definitely the star of the show, I also had a really good burger from there. The first night that I checked in, I was like, I haven't had a burger in a while. I kind of want a burger. And their burger uses like bone marrow to make the sauce on the burger, which was like really delicious. And they have like, truffle oil that they add to it. There is also mushrooms on this burger and like grilled onions and cheese. So I was very excited about that. I also had like, some, hey, I don't feel so great time while I was at this hotel. So I, did what I normally do, which is like get a bunch of things that have ginger in it. So I got another of my mango ginger smoothies. And I had some soup, but it was like crab meat corn soup.
Okay.
It was really, really good.
That sounds good.
And then earlier in the week, I had what I'm having tonight, which is oxtails with a honey and black pepper sauce from this Chinese restaurant called Ming Hin. These oxtails, y'all, like...
Was he the same ones you talked about last week? Or no, I think we were talking about the context of the show. Like they were using oxtails.
Yeah, I was just talking about how I like oxtails.
Okay.
I'm normal, like you can typically find me talking about how much I like oxtails at any given time. But especially on this food podcast. But it's just so good, and I've never tasted a sauce like this before. It's just like this. It's a brown sauce, but like the honey and the black pepper really like hit. Mm-hmm. It's just very good. And yeah, I mean, I had like a pretty good.
This was
of eating.
Yeah, honestly. We need to start like having like do we have like a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3? Yeah. I think you definitely hit 3.
I think because I also didn't pay for any of this food.
That's nice.
Okay, so you had like a 4-tier week.
Yeah, I did not pay for
a 3-tier with an asterisk.
Yeah,
I am currently waiting on delivery that I am not paying for. I have a voucher on Uber Eats.
Yeah,
it is wonderful. I love this new job.
Yay!
Thank you.
I love that for you.
Please clap. No, that's just one of my favorite things that's ever happened in politics. Like one of the Bush brothers having to be like, please clap. Like a room of uninterested people.
I did not make that connection for a second. I'm like, what is your favorite moment in politics?
Yeah.
Never mind, this makes more sense now.
Yeah. But yeah, I also had some like yummy beverages. I had a really like the bartender, when I said spicy margarita, he was just like, oh, great. Let me put an entire jalapeno in it. So he was like, taste it. I don't know. It might be too spicy. And I was like, that's like the center of the earth. I cannot have that. So eventually we got there. He also made really good Bloody Marys. I don't know why, but I like had a taste for Bloody Marys, and I kind of spent an entire day reviewing evidence for the national debate tournament while drinking Bloody Marys. That was nice. And yeah, and then I had like a punch that was like a lavender vodka, and then like some other like fancy liqueur. It was a good week of food for me.
This was a very good week.
A banner week for me.
I should have gone first because
yes, Gia. Follow that. You get to
Yeah, so this was, I did not have as good of a food week as Latonya did. I mean, so I've this is my busy season at work, so it was a lot of dining hall food for the college that I work at. So we won't get into that. It was fine, like not bad, not great, fine.
Technically food.
Yeah, it was food, and I didn't get sick from it, and I found something to eat, so that's that's the big 3 for around this time of year.
There you go.
And I am very excited because I used to live in Boston when I went to grad school. So I'm very excited for RHAP Live next week because I'll get to visit some of my favorite places. So just know in a week I will be living my best life in Chinatown and it will be lovely. So actually less than a week. I can't wait. So but I actually was very excited. There is a new I believe it's a Puerto Rican place across from where I work that just opened up. So we were going to try to go there for lunch on Saturday. And it's just so busy because it just opened. So we're just like, we're not doing this hour wait. What else is around here? We have a lot of great different international food around where I live right now. So on Saturday, which is when I watched actually the previous Top Chef episode, I did get a Jamaican patty.
Nice.
And then ate the Jamaican patty while I was watching the Quickfire about the Jamaican patties. So it was a little inception of a bread meat filling for me.
Did you plan that, or was it coincidence? Like, did you know that was coming as a challenge?
We originally the plan was to go to this place, to go to the Puerto Rican place. And that place it had like an hour wait or something like that. It was just not going to work for that day. So then my mom and brother were the ones that went to go pick up the food. So like, we're going to go to this Jamaican place. Like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'm about to watch Top Chef. And I remembered what the Quickfire was. I'm like, I'll take some Jamaican patties. So they were out of the chicken curry one that I was hoping for, but I still got a spicy beef one and I got a jerk chicken one. Both fantastic at a lovely time. And then this afternoon, I went to a sushi place with my mom for an early dinner. And they call it a Red Sox roll. It's a shrimp tempura with spicy salmon on top.
Ooh,
very good. Had a great time. And then also it was a spicy girl roll, which is it was like tuna on top with jalapeno. It's one of our favorites. I love that one. So that was great. Had some gyoza, pork gyoza and sake. I haven't had hot sake in a while.
Oh yeah, usually
I love sake. So, and I like cold and hot sake, but when I have it at home, obviously I get the cold one. So I was very happy to just have like a hot sake for today, and it was absolutely lovely. I had a great time. So that was kind of like my big highlights of the week were the Jamaican patties and the sushi. And I've just been doing a lot of for home, just doing like a lot of like I'll make soup and then kind of have it there for the rest of the week. The weather's been kind of crap, and it's still kind of like in that it's not yet summer, not really, not fully spring, not completely out of winter yet.
Not a girl, not yet a woman.
In Michigan, we call it the spring of deception.
Yes. So it will be cold here next week, Curt. So please bring layers.
Yes.
Always I know in Michigan you have no idea what winter is like, but yeah. For those of you that may be listening and wondering, what do I bring to RHAP? Please bring long sleeves and layers. It's going to be cold and something to cover for rain. But so that was kind of like my highlights. And then I've been doing like just like different soup based dishes that can hold me over. I don't want to go grocery shopping right before I'm away for a week. So I'm kind of just like doing what I can with what I have right now.
Nice.
I didn't realize I knew I was gonna have to talk about what I ate this week. I did not know I had such a competition. It I really brought a knife to a gunfight here.
All answers are great and valid. That sushi roll sounds amazing. I don't understand how people do sake. To me, sake tastes like nail polish remover. So
I mean,
sake.
I get what you're saying, but if you find like There are some really good flavored
I've
sake.
just been
and it's
having the
usually-
wrong ones.
It's
Then
usually when it's cold that you get like the better
Okay.
flavors in there. But it's just like a fruity rice wine that I like the hot one too. I like both. But I think if you're looking for like, okay, if I ever want to try sake again, I want to try different flavor, do like a flavored cold one first. Like
Okay.
something like if you like peach, they usually have like a peach flavored.
Plum.
I like the
Mm.
lychee ones.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very close to soju, but
I've never had soju.
I go back and forth on which I like better, soju or sake. But I've only had like fruit flavored sojus. Two different meals, two different places. I had a muffaletta sandwich and red beans and rice this week.
Yum.
For a medium-sized town in West Michigan, the fact that we have at least two like New Orleans style Cajun cuisine places just blows my mind. But yeah, so I on Monday and yesterday I had the muffaletta sandwich and the red beans and rice. There's the Korean restaurant I always go to, but I've never actually sat down and ate there. I had a friend in town, so we actually went and sat down. I did not get any special treatment. I was very upset. Because they always I walk in to pick up my food and they say hi. And like one time I had to wait for it and they brought me free crab rangoons. And so I was like waiting for them to say like, you never eat here. No acknowledgement whatsoever. I know, but I had a spicy bulgogi there, shrimp shumai. I did not have pot stickers like Jay did, but then there was these crab stuffed mushrooms that were really good.
Yes.
And then I had today for dinner. This was actually a craving that had started yesterday for me. I think it was when I saw Corwin's jerk marinated chicken. I just started craving fried chicken, and I've never had fried chicken in like probably a few years now. But I went to a local place called New York Fried Chicken.
You haven't had fried chicken in like a few years?
Yeah.
How are you still alive? Are you okay?
You were concerned for me.
I am.
I am a little.
Wait, but that doesn't count. I've obviously had like fried chicken sandwiches, but I've not had like breast drumstick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just like any fried chicken, I think is a little more.
Yeah.
I still think you need to have just more.
Yeah.
Just fried chicken, yeah.
More fried chicken in general,
In
but
your
that's
diet.
something I recommend to everybody.
I
That's not
think
just a Curt Clark specific
it's a food group.
recommendation.
It's a food,
It
yes,
is.
it's like
Whole
sandwich.
food is its
fried
own
chicken.
food group, but I will not hear any different.
Came with so 3 pieces of fried chicken. It came with mashed potatoes. Came with coleslaw. I got bread or banana pudding for dessert, but I was way too full. Usually my dessert stomach is a separate stomach, but here I had no room for the banana pudding. So that might be later tonight. And then over the weekend, I visited one of my friends in high school, from high school. He works at a local university. Went to a really good place called the Grizzly Social. I had a crab rangoon grilled panini, which was amazing. And then kind of like your egg rolls, I had a jalapeno popper egg rolls, which were basically just like 95% cream cheese and some chunks of jalapeno, but I was here living for it. But it was really, really good. And I'm very, very full and need to eat nice in Boston next week. Gia, thank you so much for joining us. We are always glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to join. This has been so much fun. Obviously, no one can replace Haley, but I'm always happy to be a part of the group when I can. And I'm very excited to also be in Boston and have a much more lively food week next week with you, Curt.
Yes. Yeah, point me in the right direction. People want to follow you on the socials or elsewhere, like where can they go? What can they do?
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Classically Gia. It's the same at all of them for all my reality TV shenanigans. And then if you want to listen to some of the work I do around reality TV, I do bi-weekly recaps of Abbott Elementary, my favorite non-competition show with Chappelle. Such a good season so far. I'm
So
very excited to
good.
see how it comes to a close here. I'm very excited. And then I'm also doing recaps of Survivor 48 and Top Chef on Silent Podcasts. And I'm doing writing for Survivor 48 on Inside Survivor and Surviving Tribal. So keep an eye out for any of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Latonya, how about you? Where can people go to learn the latest?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at LK Starks. I have, against my better judgment, started tweeting again.
We missed you.
Honestly, like, I'm just gonna be honest. I really like Blue Sky, but it can be depressing.
I think that's just a lot of social.
You just described me.
No, you're depressed.
I get what you're saying.
You're depressed. No, but it's also, there are so many accounts that I follow on Twitter that are not on Blue Sky. And so I'm not getting like what I need over there. I need the info. I need the details about everything that I am interested in. And unfortunately, they're on Twitter. So I started tweeting again. And I'm going to, at some point, tweet the announcement that I got a job. Our long national nightmare is over, people. I have been hired as a debate coach for Harvard, and I will be moving to Boston soon. Not soon enough for the RHAP event, unfortunately, but like soon. So I am pretty busy with all that. But I will be showing up on the recap kickback at some point soon. Chappelle has reached out and like wants me to come on for like basically anything. I just need to like say yes and give him a date. So you can catch me on the recap kickback, a place I'd like to go regularly. I'm also always on the Crime Scene podcast. I think I'm a 5-time guest now, so I would get a jacket and be in the 5-timers club if it was SNL. But yeah, you can also follow me on Instagram at Stormborn1222. Weather's getting better. Gonna be posting a lot more because I realized that I basically only posted during the summer. During the spring and summer months is when I'm active. So yeah,
The things are seasonal.
Curt, where can people find you?
You can follow my podcast, Curdy Little Secrets, where I have nothing that you can. I don't do anything.
I want to be a guest on Curdy Little Secrets.
I could do Curdy Little Liars because I just finished season 2, and that's the worst show ever. But I can't.
You gotta keep going.
I do miss ABC Family's run of intentionally bad television, like Secret Life of the American Teenager. When that was on, I ate that up. I sometimes bad TV is what you need.
Yeah. Only if you want to follow the bad stuff that I read, watch, and eat. I basically most active at Curt Clark, 2 C's, on Instagram, where you'll find mostly pictures of books, food, and escape rooms, and the occasional meme. So, again, thank you so much, Gia.
Thank you.
We love you.
It was so much fun.
And as always, thank you, Latonya.
Listen, I should be thanked at all times.
Yes, thank you all for listening. And until we are back next week, please pack your knives and go.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.